Good morning, friends. It's May, and I am over here in the grass field. I've been checking it out. It looks like I can probably get a cut off of this. I was talking to Lisa about this, who is Leo's dad. She does a lot of the field work, the grass work, over at Ravenwood Farm. And normally, she said, they try to do a cut like every 3 months, which for me, that would be in June, since I planted this in March, because it gives it the most time to grow, so they get the best cut off the field if they wait for 3 months. But I did the math, and my barley is going to be ready to harvest next month, which will involve... Oh, speaking of Leo. Hi, friend. Barley is going to be ready to harvest next month, which will involve the harvesting and the straw baling, and maybe even trying to cultivate to get that field turned around. I don't know. And then the month after that, both the oats and the wheat are going to be ready to harvest. So I'm just going to be full out for the next 2 months. So I have to do this now, or I'm not going to have time. Plus, my cows are starting to run low on their feed mix, and I need to get this grass starting to ferment into silage to make them some more feed mix. Oh, I'm going to need hay too. So I got to get this moving. I would like to wait another month to get this cut, but I just don't have time. So that's what I'm going to do today. I've got my mowers all set up on this little tractor, and then I guess I'll need to row it and then pick it up. I brought the other tractor over here to use the forage wagon because that is a bit too hefty to run this little guy. So I need to use the other tractor for that. So I'm just going to go right into a time lapse. Let's hop in and start getting this farm work done. That's weird. I just got a phone call from Kendra asking me to go over to the Frontier Security office. She needs to talk to me about something. Oh no. I didn't get that put away and I'm caught on something. I have no idea what Kendra could want to talk to me about, but that can't be good. I basically have had practically no interactions with her since my party. And even before that, we didn't talk for months between when she helped me get set up to do the sand clearing contract out here and my party. That's very strange. I'm gonna go put this away, and then I guess... Oh, you know what? I need to pick up some silage additive to use in my forage wagon. So maybe I'll run over to the other farm and grab my little Kubota side-by-side. My truck, my TLX Phoenix, is up there at the dairy. I've got the liquid tanker on it, so I don't want to change the liquid tanker out for the flatbed, just to pick up some silage additive. Right. Okay. I guess I'm gonna go figure out what's going on with Kendra, and I'll talk to you all soon. That was a surprising conversation. I don't even know how to process this. I had to talk to you about it, but I don't know what I can say. Let's hop in here. This is tricky. There is a fine line between what is safe to talk about, talking about farm work, and being uncontroversial. And I'm really not trying to be controversial here. But this is also kind of pertains to the farm. Alright, well, there were a couple interesting things in that conversation. I'm gonna head over to the store and pick up that silage additive while I'm in town. First of all, Kendra has let me know that whatever the limitation was with me getting alerts out in the frontier, they have found a way to work around it. I don't know if that's they've extended the geofencing to include like out through my farm and maybe the agricultural co-op out there, or if they've added some like relay towers or something. I have no idea what the technical limitation was, and they won't talk about it much. I guess not surprising. I don't need to know their classified technical details. But yeah, I will now finally get alerts when alerts are called, which is amazing. It's taken them only, what, a year and a half? Too long. Oh yeah, I mentioned this last month, I think. There's my new header for corn and sunflower for my harvester, which I will take out to my farm at some point whenever I pick up the header, I guess next month. Oh boy. Maybe I should do that later this month. Yeah, so that I'm ready to go. I'll talk to them while I'm in here getting this silage stuff. The other thing is trickier. Let me think a little bit about how to talk about that without getting myself in trouble. Maybe I'll come back in when I'm driving back to the farm. I'll see you soon. Okay, I got loaded up with this little pallet. This thing is just big enough to carry a pallet. It's just about right for my needs, actually. I had no idea when I got this thing how much I would love it. I've had a bit of a think. This is tricky. I'm just gonna go on camera and say I'm completely saying this in good faith. I'm not trying to cause any trouble. I just want to talk about this as it affects the farm and me. So I'm just going to talk about it and hope it doesn't get me into trouble later. The other thing that Kendra wanted to talk to me about was I'm going to get a visitor out on the farm for a bit. Without getting into too many details about what happened and why, somebody who I've talked about before on my series is relocating. Javon, who I mentioned before in connection to some things I'm not really going to talk about. Javon is returning to civilian life, but one of the conditions of Javon returning to civilian life is Javon needs to relocate. So actually, I'll just pop over here. I don't own this property anymore, so I really shouldn't stop here, but I'm just going to say really quickly. That benefit auction last month, where I bought some equipment and I donated my stuff, that benefit was going to Javon. The proceeds of the benefit have been used partially to fund... I don't even know how to get into this. Legal discovery about what happened, and that has moved very quickly once that process started, and related to other things that have been happening in town, which I will not get into. And so Javon is relocating out of the city. We talked about it, and Javon is actually buying this property here, right next to the main gate. That way he'll have the option to get into town, or at least into the security checkpoint if there is an alert and he needs safety. So he's just going to set up right over here. He'll probably get like a little house or something set up here. I spoke about it with him because he was there with Kendra when I went in, and he already bought the property. He would like me to come out here and clear up all this sand. Maybe not on the whole property, maybe just enough over here for him to get in and out with a vehicle. But he's going to have to, I guess up here along the wall too, he's going to have to have some construction equipment brought out to build him a little house or something. I don't know exactly. But until he's able to get this all set up, Javon is actually going to be coming out to stay with me on the farm. And Javon had another idea, which honestly really helps me out. So I'm all in favor. And I think it'll give him something to do too, which is he would like to set up a mill on this property. I've talked about how I need something like that to process the grain that I'm growing. And I guess I can't help looking over there whenever I drive by. I guess Javon has been catching up on what I've been up to, having been made aware of some of the parts I have played in all of this, and thought that setting up a mill there would be a way to help me out and also give him something to do, because Javon has been a farmer in his little co-op in the city, but there's not really any other area out here to farm, and he wouldn't have any farm equipment starting from scratch. So he was thinking maybe he could run a mill for me, and together we could produce food, me growing the goods and him running the mill, that I could sell at my little farmer's market and help with that mission to feed the city. So that is super exciting. I think we haven't figured out exactly what the details are going to be yet. If Javon is going to fund the mill himself, or if I will fund the mill and he'll be like a worker there. We have to sort of iron out what that looks like and what expenses are going to fall to whom. But after the auction, there were funds used to fund the legal discovery part. After the auction, there were funds used to fund the legal discovery part But also, there was some money left over that enabled Javon to buy that property and is going to... I don't know why I backed up so close. I'm going to have to get this out of here with the wheel loader, I guess. Do I even have a pallet fork over here for that? I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll just take some of these bottles off here for now and just put it into there. So yeah, Javon had some money left over from the auction proceeds after funding the legal discovery that has helped expedite his return to civilian life. That is a euphemism. And I guess he's using that to buy that property. And maybe, well, he's definitely going to have to set up a house for himself. And maybe also set up the mill, or maybe I will do that. He did say when I clear the sand as a way of paying me for it, he'll just let me sell it. Instead of him paying me and then me like giving him the proceeds or whatever. So basically I'm just getting to do that at no cost to him, but then I will get to keep all of the money from selling it. So that'll be a little boost of income I wasn't really planning on. Otherwise I won't have any money coming in before the end of the year maybe? I don't know when I'm going to have enough butter and stuff to sell. So yeah, that was really surprising. And Kendra was involved with that because of the whole processing Javon out of the city part of things and getting a place for him to stay out in the frontier until he gets his own place set up. I'm just going to stop there because I may have already said too much. I'm going to get my forage wagon hooked up to this other bigger tractor, and I'm going to put some silage additive in that tank, and then I guess I'm going to pick up that grass and get it into one of these silage pits. So I'll go into another time lapse and get that work done. Alright, well that was not a particularly difficult job at all. I did the spill a little out here when I was driving back and forth over it to compact it. And this is not a very full silo, which I'm a little bit bummed about. So I think I need to go take my wheel loader back over to the other farm and pick up the bucket. And I guess the pallet fork for it, so I can unload that silage additive. Try to clear up this end. I might have spilled a little bit out the other end. And then I can get this blanketed over and it can start to ferment. So I'm going to do that off camera. Mildly boring. And then I guess when I come back, I hooked up that small tractor already to the little meadow roller that I bought in the auction. So I'll bring that out and maybe roll the grass field on camera. Or maybe I'll leave that out. I don't know. I've rolled the cultivation fields a lot, so you've seen me do that a lot. But maybe this one's slightly different while it's grass. We'll find out. I guess we'll see what I leave in or not. Maybe I'll see you soon, or maybe this will be it for the month. Okay, I was thinking about buying in some hay, but I remembered a lot of times in summer there are contracts for doing grass work, and with the contracts I did before for the crop work, I was able to keep any excess over what the contract called for. So if the field yielded higher than what the contract called for, I could keep that. So I have made some phone calls. I found a few contracts around for specifically hay for tedding grass to dry it out and then baling it and taking it places. And I've picked up a couple. Walter, whose field I cultivated, gosh, going on 2 years ago now. I've been out here for a while now. Over by the BGA, he has a couple of grass fields that need to be tedded. Cut and tedded and rowed and taken over. And so I'm going to go do those grass contracts for him. And then whatever's left over after I fulfill the contracts, I will be able to bring out here to the farm, and then use that next month with my silage to make some more feed for these girls because they are going to need it soon. They're getting low. So I think if I put this all in one episode, that's going to be way too much way too long. So I think I will go do those contracts, record, and I'll just save that recording for next time. So I guess when you see me, it will be not long from now for me, but another week or so for you all. So I'll see you next week. Ta-ta for now.